We shall be rid of the Mandalorians once and for all.
The Mandalorian's third season concluded, and although it wasn't quite the cameo extravaganza some had hoped for, it still gave us plenty to ponder. The show introduced us to Moff Gideon, and although we did get some good screen time with him, we may still be left curious about his story. In today's video, we'll look at the character's story from birth to his rise to power. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. Moff Gideon went from being an officer in the Imperial Security Bureau to being a strong leader of the remaining Imperial forces. This path was marked by violence and ambition. He was born around 51 before the Battle of Yavin. He then joined the Galactic Empire and quickly moved up the ranks because he was smart and cruel. Gideon was a key player in the Great Purge of Mandalore, which killed millions of Mandalorians during the Galactic Civil War. He lied to Bo-Katan Kryze and told her she would be safe, but he was trying to steal the Darksaber, which is a sign of who is in charge of the Mandalorians. This move led to the Empire ruthlessly killing Mandalorian groups, which strengthened Gideon's control. After the Battle of Jakku, the Empire started to fall apart. Gideon faked his execution for war crimes and ran to the Outer Rim, teaming up with other Imperial loyalists. Gideon became a powerful leader of what was left of the Empire. He was in charge of what was left of the Imperial Army and Navy and partner groups. After Emperor Palpatine and Darth Vader died, Gideon tried to become the new leader of the galaxy. He wanted to build a strong army and become the guardian of order to take control of what was left of the Empire. Gideon's goals went beyond the borders of his remnant. He became a powerful member of the Shadow Council and competed for power in the military alliance led by Grand Admiral Thrawn. As Moff Gideon's desire to be in charge and dominate kept growing, the galaxy was about to enter a new time of war and uncertainty, and we get to see how bad his plans were, which included the hunt for Grogu. In his search for a valuable asset, Moff Gideon gave the client and Dr. Pershing the job of catching the baby Grogu who could feel the Force. Gideon wanted to use Grogu as a model to make a perfect super soldier by mixing Mandalorian, Jedi, and Kaminoan clones. Grogu had to be found, so the Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin, also known as the Child of the Watch, was hired. Jin changed his mind though, and saved the baby from the client. Gideon took over Navarro City with his remaining troops after Djarin betrayed him. Greef Karga, the head of the local bounty hunters guild, told the Mandalorian that he had to give Grogu back to the Imperials or risk being killed. Djarin joined forces with Cara Dune, an ex-rebel, Ugnaught Kuiil, and the modified assassin droid IG-11. They planned to trick the Remnant and the guild by acting like they were going to give Grogu to them while killing their opponents. But after the child used the Force to fix him, Karga changed his mind and joined Djarin's force. Gideon found out that Djarin was holding Grogu, so he sent out his Death Troopers and Stormtroopers to get Grogu back. He went up to Djarin's group, told them who they were, and tried to talk with Karga. Suspicion grew, and a fight broke out. Grogu then got away with Djarin and his friends, who were being chased by Gideon's army. In their last fight, Gideon went straight to Djarin. He later sent stormtroopers to stop them, but in the end, he took things into his own hands and flew his Outland TIE fighter to catch them. With the help of his jetpack, Djarin jumped onto the TIE fighter and fought with Gideon. And after a hard fight, Djarin set off a gravity bomb, which caused the TIE fighter to crash. Gideon was thought to be dead, but he got out of the wreckage and got ready to meet up with the rest of his troops so he could continue his goal to find Grogu. The battle between Moff Gideon and Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, hit its peak when Gideon tries to find out how Grogu, the child, can use his hidden powers. After getting Grogu back from Djarin, Gideon locks the young Force-sensitive being up on his cruiser, where Dr. Pershing continues his cloning studies using Grogu's blood samples. In the meantime, Djarin puts together an odd group of friends, including Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Cara Dune, Bo-Katan Kryze, Axe-Woves, and Koska Reeves. Each of these people has their own reasons for joining and owes Djarin money. They work together to come up with a plan to save Grogu and beat Gideon. On Moran, the crew sneaks into an Imperial refinery to find out important details about Gideon's ship. They manage to find out where the ship is from the refinery's terminal and then run away, causing damage as they go. Djarin is desperate to get Grogu back, so he goes straight to Gideon and tells him he'll come to get the child. In a risky move, the crew takes Dr. Pershing's shuttle and uses it as a Trojan horse to get on Gideon's ship. When they split up, Djarin fights a fierce battle with Gideon while Bo-Katan and her men look for them off. Even though Gideon tried to hit Djarin from behind, the Mandalorian won and took both Gideon and the Darksaber to the bridge. But Gideon's Dark Troopers, strong droid soldiers, take over and start beating up on the crew. When there's no hope left, an X-Wing starfighter lands on the ship and a figure in a hood emerges. It's Luke Skywalker. Skywalker destroys the Dark Troopers with ease and heads to the bridge. In a last-ditch effort, Gideon tries to shoot Bo-Katan, but Djarin stops him and then gives his life to save Grogu. The New Republic later arrests Gideon after Dune removes his weapons and puts him down. Skywalker brings Grogu along so he can teach him how to use the Force. Even though the fight is over and Gideon's reign of terror is over, nobody knows what'll happen next. When Djarin and Bo-Katan fight over who owns the Darksaber, it sets the stage for new battles and challenges. After Gideon was caught, Dune was moved up to the Special Forces and lost her job as Marshal of Navarro. As sworn enemies of the Mandalorians, Djarin's secret members, Paz Vizsla and the Armorer, thought that Gideon's crimes could only be punished by death. Din Djarin said that it was likely that the New Republic Tribunal would put him to death for his crimes, but the Armorer didn't believe him. Gideon got away from the New Republic sometime after they arrested him. His bear-clad soldiers got him out of the Lambda-class T-4A shuttle, taking him to the Tribunal. Officials from the New Republic kept this information from the rest of the world, but rumors spread about what happened to Gideon. Some people believed the reports that he'd gotten away, but others thought it was a lie to hide that he might have been hooked up to a mind flayer. After escaping from the New Republic, Moff Gideon quickly returned to Mandalore's Imperial Remnant base. He used Grogu's blood to make a powerful army of Force-sensitive clones, and he directed the creation of the most advanced Dark Trooper armor himself. With help from the Shadow Council, Gideon added a squadron of tie-in bombers and interceptors to his army to protect Mandalore. Gideon sent Elia Kane to pen Pershing, a former chemist who had joined the New Republic's amnesty program, to erase his memories. He did this to keep his secrets safe. At the same time, he hired pirate King Gorian Shard and his troop to cause chaos on the Outer Rim without telling the New Republic. Gideon regularly kept in touch with Kane and used her as a link to the outside world. 5 months later, Captain Carson Teva of the New Republic found Gideon on Mandalore, proving he had escaped. Gideon had sent Shard's pirates to attack Navarro before, but a group of Mandalorians led by Djarin and Kryze stood in their way. Kane rushed to tell Gideon he'd lost and that an unexpected group of people was working against him. And for an answer, Gideon decided to face the Mandalorian threat himself. He got ready for an important meeting with the Shadow Council, where he dropped hints that he wanted to be in charge. Commandant Brendel Hux suggested Project Necromancer as an answer, while Gideon denied having anything to do with Pershing, and turned the attention to the Mandalorian opposition. Together, Hux and Pelion gave Gideon more supplies and Imperial Praetorian guards for the fight that was coming up. The meeting ended with a loud patriotic chant, strengthening their union and confirming Gideon's place among the warlords, giving him the power. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more amazing content. See you in the next one.